Kia ora, Dan here from Walking with Faith Adventures. Today we're just here talking about faith. So today I've got a good friend of mine and a brother from church, Cornelius. So he's going to share a message about what faith means to him in this episode of Talking About Faith for Hope. Hey guys, so I've got Cornelius in front of me here. It's, so what does faith mean for you?
Dan, I think we've been talking about it a bit, on our way here, and I think for me, faith is about certainty. It's being sure that when the storms come, we will be able to stand. I think we all have times in our lives when things go bad, when things go wrong. I think I've just recently had my contract cancelled at a customer, and suddenly all the fears come up of what's going to happen. How do I pay the bills? How am I going to stand? But I think faith is when those hard times come, when things get really difficult, being able to stand. Having something, a strong foundation to stand on. We're looking at the trees around us. And if a tree's standing next to the water and it's got a strong foundation, it doesn't matter when heat comes. It doesn't matter when the storms arrive, because it's standing on a firm foundation. And that's what faith is for us.
And that's so true, and especially with today's world, it's really challenging out there for most of us, Christian or not. Obviously we're Christians, and obviously we rely on God as our foundation for everything. But even for non-Christians, it doesn't matter who you are. Faith is like the cornerstone as well. And it's really, really important to really look at your faith from a different perspective, and really just get out there more and believe, and knowing that things are possible.
Right, exactly. We love nature. That's why we walk with faith, right? And if you're out in nature, it's really amazing to see and understand how God puts things together, how God keeps things going. And I find for myself that if I don't keep my eyes on God, if I trust in myself and my own power, then I can get really overwhelmed by the life. I think work can be overwhelming. Jeremiah talks about how even prosperity, you don't see it because you're so worried about, how well you're doing and how you're comparing to others. But I think when we get to nature and we get back to God and to our roots, then we understand that all those things don't really matter. And that we can be sure and we can be certain, regardless of what we're going through, that the right thing is going to happen, So if I'm really sure that, there is a God, and I'm really sure that whatever happens, He's going to take care of me, it just takes the pressure right off,
Absolutely.
And when things get really overwhelming, or things get really hard, or things get really tough, I know that things are going to work out, because my foundation is strong and there's certainty. And I think that's what faith is. Faith is being able to stand despite the storm. Having a foundation when everything else seems to be falling apart. Not allowing my emotions to take control when things get really hard, but being able to be an even keel, even though it seems like the world is falling apart around me. And I don't know about you, but we just have to look back, don't we?
Absolutely.
We just have to look at what happened in the past to see, actually, there is a God. Things are going to be okay. Things will work out.
That's right. Yeah.
If I just believe, if I'm just faithful. And I know that I've been in situations where I've stressed and worried and been really unhappy, where if I look back, it was unnecessary.
Yep.
Why?
Like that, eh?
Why do I put myself through all of it? Because I know that there is somebody looking after me.
Absolutely.
It's an interesting. I've been in a scenario where I remember, fighting to keep a job, and I was the lead analyst at a big company in Cape Town, and it was a mobile banking solution, and I really wanted that job to stay. I was praying so hard with my friends that I wouldn't lose that job. I worked long hours, I killed myself, but I was also going through a really difficult financial situation, and I also been praying that God will help me out financially, and things can work out. And I really wasn't enjoying what I was doing that much because I was working crazy hours. So I remember praying with my friends, and I had my group of people around me. We're like, God, work this out, make this job last. And of course, I got made redundant. And I remember saying to my friends, we need to trust God regardless of what happened. What I asked for didn't happen, but it's so interesting when I look back, because 2 weeks later, I had a job that paid me more money, worked less hours. They paid me 3 months severance, which means I got 3 months salary for free, and also let me go a month early without having to work. They still paid me for the month. So I got 3.5 months worth of salary pretty much in my pocket, and had a better job to start with. So not only did God take care of my job situation, He also took care of my financial situation, which I've been praying for. But the thing I feared the most is what happened. But God had bigger plans. And so sometimes the thing that we fear is exactly what should happen. And that's what faith is about. It's trusting that even the thing that I fear, if that happens, that God has a bigger plan for me, and that things is going to work out the way that it should, the way that it must. And if we can be solid and sure and secure, even when the world seems to be falling apart around us, I think that's a cool place to be, And that's what I'm striving for, is to be on even keel, to be comfortable and confident, despite uncertainty and things seeming to really go wrong around me, because I know, I've seen it before. God is faithful, and He will work it out. I was just talking to a guy the other day at the men's camp that we were having on the weekend. And this person was just telling me how incredibly hard he was having at work. He had a boss that was just treating him unfairly. He was working long, crazy hours, and he was getting really angry. He was like so upset. And I remember just talking to him and saying to him, what if you really, really believed that there is a God that is in control of this, and that whatever you do, He's going to work it out for your good? How would you act differently? He looked up and he's like, I act very differently. And I'm like, but isn't that true though? Shouldn't you be believing this? And we were talking about it, and I said, you know what? God has a great plan for your life. But unfortunately, that plan is not for you to be treated fairly. He wasn't treated fairly, okay? Sometimes we can get treated unfairly and still fulfill a great purpose. And I think that's part of faith for me as well, It's not just about foundation, it's not just about certainty, it's also about purpose. It's also about something bigger than ourselves. And knowing whatever happens around us right now, God is fulfilling His purposes. And bigger things are going to happen because of it. And I've got a choice whether I'm going to approach this ride that I'm on with faith, or whether I'm going to be thrown around and beaten by the waves and the sun and the storms around me, And I think that's why it's cool. It's cool to be where we are. It's cool to have the faith that we have, because we can weather bad things because we know that there's a bigger hand in this. The worst thing that can happen, what is it? That's not too bad. It's not too bad, I mean, when I lost my job, now we were talking about it earlier, right? And I just bought a house, so I had $100,000 in the bank, and I spent all of it on my deposit. So I literally had not a cent in the bank, and they gave me 2 weeks notice on my contract. I thought, what in the world? I had all this certainty. I had 3 months worth of money in the bank, and now I have nothing. What's going on? But I thought about it. What's the worst that can happen? I might lose my house. How bad is that? It's not too bad. Because I still have my friends, I still have my wife, I still have God looking out for me. But as it turns out, I didn't have to worry. I've already got a new job set up. It's all working out the way it should. And all that stress and uncertainty that I was feeling really wasn't necessary, was it? Because I know that there's more. I know that there's a God. I know that there's a purpose in my life. And my purpose in my life is not to be too worried about how much money I have or how fancy a car I drive. There's more. There's more for us. And that more is, is more tied to other people. It's more tied to making a difference. It's more tied to significance rather than success. Don't you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally right. So hey, how cool is it that we can walk in this beautiful place? How lucky we are that we can be living in a house and driving a car, If you think about the world out there, we're in the top 1%, even at our worst. So I don't think we've got a lot to worry about. The things we worry about is not significant. It's first world problems. So, with God, anything's possible. But I think I'd much rather fulfill His purposes for my life. Have a great purpose to live for than worry about the small things in life, Okay, maybe sometimes it's not small, but I don't have to worry about it. He's taking care of it. So that's what faith is all about.
Hey, thanks, Cornel. I really appreciate you being out here with me today, talking about what it means for you to have the faith that you have. What could you say to others, even non-believers? How could you give them hope?
The Bible talks about where Jesus says we can cast our anxieties on Him because He cares for us. There's another verse that says we can present our requests to Him with prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, and that He will give us peace. I think that's what faith is all about. It's knowing that I can cast all that anxiety away, I can have real peace. And that's what God can do for you, if you believe it.
Thanks for watching, guys. Just a few things are coming up. Now, in December, we've got our next hike, which is a hard hike for those who like a bit of a challenge. So we're going to do Mount Porongia again. But in the summertime, we're going to do a few more hikes around the place, family hikes as well, which is really cool. Might even just come here as well, which is a really nice family hike. Bring your dog if you've got a dog. Great for pushchairs if you've got a young one as well. So yeah, just wanted to say thank you for watching this video. Please feel free to leave a comment about your own experience of faith that has given you hope in finding a job or on a project that you undertook and achieved. We really appreciate everyone who watches our channel. Remember, if you like our videos, you can support us more by subscribing to our channel, sharing our content with others, and clicking the notification tab so that you don't miss out on more content of talking about Faith for Hope or our hiking adventures. Again, thank you for watching, and we hope to see you soon.